Hey, you like the stock market? What a coincidence. So do I. In fact, this is my reoccurring Monday real life stock review where I look at stocks that you requested and go through the analysis and see what's shaping up. Let's dive in together right now. Hey traders from around the world, welcome to your Monday real life stock review. It's Jeremy Alexander Newsom with reallifetrading.com and we are checking out some stocks. So we got ourselves SPY posted up today, and my analysis for most of the day, at least this morning in the very early morning of the day trading world, was this is obviously a retest gap, but it is a little too extended for me to absolutely love it. In fact, the high of this candle, October 17th, was 281.15. The high of today, 281.31. My analysis this morning was that we would barely make a new high from these little levels. A bunch of people would go bullish and we'd have ourselves a little bit of a pullback. I do think it's going to happen. In fact, I did post End Trading View earlier today. 287 May covered call with a 276.50 long put and a 270 short put as a trade on the SPY. For anyone who has longer term shares, just kind of as a hedge and a protection, because most likely from here, SPY is going to just chop around and start trading sideways a bit. I think we saw the high come in today. I could obviously be wrong. We could continue higher. When I say the high, I don't mean like the market high. I just mean the high for the next few sessions, because we could do this and bounce. Like, that's totally fine. Not an issue at all. But I think it just needs a little bit of a rest at this particular point in time. There were so many gaps today. Oh my goodness. So in the morning room, we pretty much had everything that we want to look at possible. Caterpillar was a nice bullish gap and go because you did have a bearish candle on Friday, and there weren't many bullish gap and goes today, but Caterpillar did have a nice little gap above some of this resistance. Here's a 5-minute chart, and shout out to my buddy Tim, who played Caterpillar. Here's a little bit of support based on this high wave candle right there. I was looking at this one this morning to go bullish here with a stop loss there, but obviously that didn't trigger. Traded down, formed a pennant pattern, and Tim took it long right there, the stop right there. Beautiful trade, Tim. Very well done on Caterpillar. That was a nice little move, and at this particular point in time, I mean, you know, good gap, good trend. Caterpillar slowly making some new highs, but most likely a buy the dip opportunity on ticker symbol CAT. Advanced Micro Devices have a lot of traders in some option trades on AMD. Made a new high, and that was a wonderful place to lock in some profits. So if you're in some AMD call options, you did have a shaved top candle from yesterday, and it made a little bit of a higher high today. I did play AMD, I did play it bearish, and I played it bearish poorly. Just barely got stopped out of this one. So got in bearish down here and had my stop loss, actually had a good spot right here, and moved it down on this candle and got stopped out on AMD. Kind of dumb, pretty stupid, pretty giant noobish trade, but I guess it's okay. Other traders did end up making money on it. Joe Lopez made some good money on this one. Lee made money on this one. Mike made money on this one. A few other traders took AMD and just didn't lower their stop or took it a little bit of a different price. But again, pretty much most of the day, my whole plan was for the markets to run up a little bit, trap a bunch of people who are overly zealously buying, and expect a little bit of a fade back down. Just a nice shaved top white candle. So I mean, across the board, all of China getting the fades. IQ, white candle gapping up, obvious fade. BABA has not done it yet. So I'll be watching BABA very closely the next 2 or 3 days for a little bit of a bearish trade and a filling of that gap most likely. But NIO, that was a white candle gapped up, had a really good retest at one particular point in time today. UXIN was a gnarly retest. White candle gapping up, throwing a really good upper shadow. Tons of selling opportunities on UXIN, and just a really nice retest. NVDA, same thing. So white candle gapping up, and yeah, nice gap on NVIDIA. It actually did have a really good long opportunity this morning. And again, my analysis from this morning realistically was, hey guys, if you're going to go bullish, do so quickly and then look to go bearish. So really good run up on NVIDIA, nice for about an hour and some change. And then you can see on the 3-minute, boom, double top, close with a neckline, great place for a little bit of a short, and a wonderful roll down on NVDA. So that was quite pretty on NVIDIA, definitely a nice little move. We did play CRON, C-R-O-N, with some puts today in the day trading room. This is the daily chart, and you did have a little bit of a lower shadow. Really within about the first 5 minutes, we broke the low of that shadow, and this was a really nice retest gap. You would have had to play it with some put options because it was a little bit hard to borrow, but talk about a really nice retest. I mean, just a nice retest. Pretty conservative play on the puts, but no one lost on those, and that was, always is a really good thing to do. Here's another trade that I played for 2 hours today on CRI, and this one was 100% based on this candle. So you had that hammer candle, tons of bullish volume coming in. The stock had already ran up massively far, traded down, trade up, trade down, trade up, and once it broke that support right there, we shorted on a retest, held, and we got out right there. True story, 99.68. Low of that candle was 99.50. So just a good 2R late in the afternoon fade on CRI because it was just up a little bit too far. A bunch of white candles gapping up. It just felt like that realistically needed to pull down a little bit. Some other stocks that were requested here is WELL and Well. This is the daily chart. Well had a little bit of a bullish candle yesterday, and then today just immediately got another bearish candle. Here's the hourly chart on Well Tower, and if I turn the long-term moving averages on, here we go. So we're just pulling back down to this support. This is the hourly time frame. We're just kind of chopping sideways on Well, but this one could be a bearish move if it takes out this support. Again, we haven't had much bearish movement at all in the last few days, but my thought process on WELL is if it does take out this low, then I actually will keep an eye on that. I'll put down the list for the afternoon room to see if we can get a chance to day trade or swing trade that one bearish. Another one is RDY. RDY daily chart did gap up a little bit today, up 1.33%. Nice gap, good bullish gap and go on Friday. Gapping out of the pennant pattern, bouncing off the 100 simple. Here's the weekly chart. Things looking good on that move. And right now, that particular stock just kind of trading sideways. Pivotal Software, PVTL, had a decent gap at one point during the day, made a little bit of a higher high, and I do still like this overall trend. Trend looks good on Pivotal. Earnings coming up around the corner. As you all know, Real Life Trading had a phenomenal program that just recently came out, hedging with options. If you have not taken it, I would suggest if you're watching this particular video and you're interested in it and you have not already received it from your subscription sign up, you're welcome to hop over to reallifetrading.com and scroll down. Click on this little tab right there, Hedging with Options, and sign up for the program, make the purchase. It's well worth it. Sign in, check it out, watch it, some really good material. But that was one of the stocks that we were talking about a lot in that particular class, about a stock that I do also like long term. Another one, and I mentioned in that class, was JD.com. JD, another obvious fade today, white candle, gapping up, really nice retest. Speaking of obvious fade, General Electric, my good buddy Vladimir played this one really nicely. GE was gapping up like 12%. Here's your first 5-minute candle, and I barely missed a short on this one. Really beautiful bullish high wave candle. Here's your tweezer top, and definitely not a trade to go long on. Obviously, GE gapping up 12% on the day. Already made a massive bullish move, and just tons of people locking in profit on GE. So that happened. And then last but not least, here's Shopify, SHOP. Shopify up 2.11%. 2019 quarter two target on Shopify has been and is $200.39. A lot of traders in some put sales on that one, longer term shares, and just overall bullishness. But this trend does still look really nice. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that does it for me. I'll be back on Wednesday. Make sure to tune in for your webinar. I'll make sure to include that in the email as well. But this webinar is going to be hosted tomorrow. Really great webinar where my friends, mentor, trading buddy, Sean Bennett, we're going to cover 6 steps that will make you more wealthy. That is tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to be there. I'll be there, of course. I will be recording it, but if you want to watch it live, it'll be very useful. Folks from around the world, thanks for tuning in. You rock, and until next time, love life, and trade. Bye.